Thank you, Adey, for doing this.
No, 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 of course, of course. I'm excited to see everyone and talk. I'm not I don't want to get too long-winded, so I just want to maybe the question and answer part would be much better for me. That way I could interact with people. So
Rebecca, I lost you.
You should go to full gallery and you can see everybody.
I'm gonna have to come back. I can't see anything. Will you let me back in?
Sure.
Oh wait, no, I did it. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Hello, Rebecca.
It's nice to see you all. Marilee, Karen, Nicole, thanks for joining. Another international guest, yay, from Canada. John, Jeff, Allie, and Laura. Shout out to everyone. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get us started so we can stay on time. We're very, very excited to have our special guest speaker today, Adey, who is from Japan, zooming from Japan. So thank you, Adey, for being here. We are just a couple of Zoom rules before we get started. I know a couple of you, it's been a while since you've joined. So a little refresher, please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see all your smiling faces. And please type all questions and comments into the chat. We're going to have a really great discussion with Adey. He's going to tell us all about, what's going on. And if you have any questions or comments for him, please make use of the chat bar. We would love to hear from you and get your feedback. A couple of things that I wanted to do as an update. We just created our 2020 year-end review infographic that is a big snapshot of all that we've accomplished in 2020. So I just wanted to give you guys, this is the first time we're ever showing it. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported Autism Tree this past year. We couldn't have done it without you getting through this tough time. And we have an amazing things that have happened since in 2020. So we have a couple of things. We reached over 376,000 funds raised, which is mind-blowing for a COVID year especially. Thank you to all of our 250 year-end campaign donors that made that number possible. We also had 16 very generous matching donors, which is a new record for Autism Tree. And of course, as I mentioned, we have 19 different programs that we've been able to pivot to the online platform. So all of our donors, all of our supporters who have spread the word about Autism Tree and supporting us helped create those programs and made them possible for us. We've did over 201 virtual events. I had 34 new interns during the year. 225 families came into the Autism Tree family and into the fold and into our new programs. We've also 33 of our Lunch and Learns. This is our 34th. So thank you to everyone who have been joining us each week on our Lunch and Learn. And of course, we have a social media impact where we had a huge goal of reaching over 500,000 people through all of our social media channels. So thank you to everyone who has shared and commented on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on, and our YouTube as well. So jumping into that, a quick update from Autism Tree just from the last week, that number went up for people reached through social media since the beginning of January. We've now reached over 519,000 people. Our posts have been shared over 864 times, so thank you for the engagement. 315 of our videos are on YouTube. Please subscribe today if you haven't.
Hey, Rebecca.
It takes a minute. Hi, Joel. Thanks for joining us. It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
And then we also have 265 videos that have been added to our YouTube channel since March of 2020. So thank you to all of our program directors and volunteers who these videos are to help our communities, our families create more routine for their kids at home, giving them fresh new ideas to implement that are really quick and cheap and easy to do and fun for the kids. So we also did our Reading with Autism Tree series, which we started in April, which is Autism Awareness Month last year. We now have 93 videos and over 43,000 people reached through that series. It's our volunteers reading children's books for our kids and families. As of today, we've provided 203 virtual events today, and we have 14 events coming up between now and the end of January. And of course, we're still offering all of our 19 of our 20 programs because it was possible for us to continue doing this year, all of our virtual events. So thank you to everyone for their support. And so without further ado, I'll pass it off to Dana Hoff, our volunteer executive director and co-founder. She's going to do a little introduction for our special guest today.
Thank you, Rebecca. I don't know why I'm having trouble on
Dana.
my end. Hi, Joel.
Hi, Karen Wright. Oh,
Okay.
hi, Mom.
Oh, it's okay. I don't know why. I feel really sentimental today, extra sentimental. I'm really grateful for how hard Rebecca has worked on that infographic for 220, and just to reflect on all of it is kind of just takes my breath away. And just where we are right now, you know, with everything that's happening in our world, in our own homes, in our environment. And, you know, I always let you guys know we do a pre-call with the speaker, and Adey just was honestly such a gift to me personally today, the way you're so calm. You're just such a blessing to see how you're using this time. And I think if you took all human beings in the entire world, Adey, you'd be pretty 1% or even smaller percentage than that. I gotta get it right. Say how you say your name, because I feel like I say Adey, and what are you saying, Rebecca? I'll be on the same page with your name. Will you say how you say like hearing your name?
Would you like me to say it?
Yeah, tell us how you pronounce your name.
You want the full name, or you just want Adey?
What you like to be
Hi,
called?
Adey.
Yeah, Adey,
Me,
right?
Joel.
Hi, Joe. It's Adey's fine. Yeah.
Okay, I can do
Give us your
that.
full name.
Yeah. So it's Al Rilwan. So it's Al. Al is very simple, and then it's Ril as in RIL, and then it's one like it as in the past tense of to win. So Al Rilwan, and then Adeyemi. Al Rilwan, Adeyemi. So Adey comes from Adeyemi, which is part of the first 4 letters of my last name. So some people call me by, you know, many different names. Some people call me Rilwan. Some people call me Al Rilwan. Some people call me Al. Some people call me Adey. So it all depends on what your, some people, you know, some people call me the real one. Some people call me Adeyemi. So it all depends on what you like. I answer to all names. So.
I love it. You're so adaptable. Well, it's, you know, like I said, it's incredible to have Adey here today. I don't know if everyone else is feeling a little bit winded. Adey, you know what's been going on at our Capitol, and then with everything that's coming up. And Garrett, my son, who you'll remember, is really close to the White House. He just went back like 2 days before everything happened. So I just can't, you know, exaggerate how wonderful it is to have you here with us and give us such a calm perspective on how you're handling things. And you know, I was reflecting on Adey and earlier, and I haven't seen you in years, Adey, and the memories that I have for you are so great, yet nothing prepared me for the 3-minute video that Rebecca found of you as a young college football player at our office opening. So I'm really excited to show that. I think I want to do that now. And then we normally do a question, but I feel like I want to start out and show that video of you, and then we'll talk about the question and kind of go from there. But this is the first time we're showing a video of the actual speaker, and I think this just it's such a treasure to have this. So it's 3 minutes of Adey.
Jeff was saying, you know, it's really a band of brothers. You know, that's what we are. I don't have a little brother, so I consider Joe my little brother. And every time I go over, we're always, you know, I pretend like he's my little brother, because to me, he is my little brother. And we have different handshakes that we do. We have different, you know, we have different routines that I show him. I'm like, here, this is what you do to get the girls, and I'm taking asking me dating advice the other day. And I was like, just call her, call on the phone and, ask her if she wants to have dinner. Start out with dinner and a movie. Always start out with that. And, it's kind of the little things. It's the little things that really matter in life. And taking 5 minutes out of our day, after practice to hang out with the kids and to just play with them, to just play with them. Although they have autism, they're still little kids at heart, so that's what we try to do. We try to treat them like little brothers and just entertain and play with them. And it's been a lot of fun for our football program, to partner with the Autism Tree Project Foundation. The University of San Diego was built on value of community outreach. And that's, that extends all the way to our athletic department. And a lot of the times that's what we do. If it's, going to speak at elementary school, middle schools, or a partnership with the Autism Tree Foundation. And as a football team, we really enjoy that. And one of the special events, my first year doing this at the Winter Wonderland, I was in the liaison back then, my roommate was. And my first year doing this, I was partnering with this kid, and he had so much energy. I could not believe it. It was a hallway not much bigger than this, and he just ran up and down and up and down, and it was just a night. I mean, I don't think I got that kind of work out of practice. I was exhausted, and I really appreciated that, and the parents really appreciated that, because they, I got the kid tired, and the kid got me tired. So the kid was gonna have a great night of sleep tonight, and the parents were gonna be able to enjoy, and that's kind of what we do at the University of San Diego, partnering with the Autism Tree Project Foundation. And to kind of touch base on the under the Autism Tree mural that you see back there, I'm depicted on the left side, and to kind of show the brotherhood that we have. My roommate Kyle Negretti, who transferred to USC to play football at USC, he actually wears number 15 at USC. So that's kind of the representative that's representing Kyle. I'm in a picture holding a football, which shows that I'm a kid at heart, but I also play football. And Joel, as our brother, in essence, he's a football player also, because Kyle and I play football, and that's why Joel is depicted in the football pads. And under the tree, and of course, as you can see, the tree is of love, and that's what it's all about. It's all love, and it comes from the heart. And that's kind of what it's about. Thank you.
Adey, this video is everything to me. Rebecca, can you take it off the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what it's like for you watching your young self, but when you talk about that tree and you talk about the love, and I mean, seriously, that just nails everything that we are right now, 17 years into it. And the program, you've got John Hickey on here and Joel and Sandy, and the program's just honestly never been stronger. And the legacy that you've left is still so alive and so critically important. And, there's just really no way to exaggerate what a lifeline the program that you are involved in and will always be your family here. I don't know if you feel that because you're in Japan, but when I sit here and had this time to reflect on you, and Rebecca finding that video, and watching it, I want to share with you, I thought about it, and one of my favorite moments in Autism Trees, if I went through the, what do football players call it, Adey, like the tape of the game, like the last 16 years, I have this memory that's one of my favorite, and you're a senior, I think, and your family flew in, like your dad was there, and he was sitting next to Jeff Anderson, your other dad, and I've never seen Jeff Anderson like that before, and it just rendered me speechless. I just felt there. I don't have any words for it, but I remember everything about it. That they were both standing up and yelling for you. It's like your two dads were there, and they were so just so proud of you, and it just like it was one of your last senior games, I think, and I think your sister was there, and the Anderson family and your family was like all one. But what really, really, really just hits me soul level is how you had two dads, and then they've traveled to Japan to watch you play, I think more than once. You'll have to illuminate all that, but one of my favorite memories in all of foundation history, honestly, is that game. Thank God I was at that game, Adey, because it's such an awesome memory of your dad and your other dad, Jeff Anderson, just being all in for you. So proud of you. And then, you know, I know the relationship that you have with Joel, and he's always been your brother. And no matter what, Adey, if I want to know what's going on with you, I mean, anything, Mama Sandy, she knows exactly what time it is and where you are and how you're doing. And so, you know, it's such a beautiful thing. And the question I was going to ask everybody, if you wouldn't mind typing in, Adey, you could even share this too. And we haven't had the speaker do that before, is who is
Jeff was saying, you know, it's really
been an influence, who has been a positive influence or mentor in your life? For me, I would definitely say the more time that goes by that my mom has passed away, it's been, you know, a lot of years now, I realize that kind of like the best parts of me, like whenever you're getting something really great from me, I would like say that I give my mom that credit. And then I'm so grateful for the women that are actually on this call that keep bringing out that part of me, which is Sandy Anderson and Karen Wright and Marilee Burgesson. I'm so grateful because you keep encouraging that growth in me and that best part of me. But I will say that my mom gave me everything good that I have to give of myself to make the world better and do my part. So I'm really grateful for that. And Cindy, oh, I love you, Cindy. I'm here from Pennsylvania and miss you. It's so great to have you on here, but love to hear what you guys have to say. You know, we always put it in the follow-up email that goes out. Adey, do you want to share who your positive influence or mentor is in your life?
Yes, I'd love to share. So for me, I have obviously the first thing that I think of are my parents. You know, my parents have been such positive role models of how to do things. You know, how to approach people, how to handle different situations, and their life has really been a blueprint because my parents immigrated from Nigeria. You know, so their life has been a blueprint not only of how to conduct yourself in a foreign land. But the examples that I took from their early years has helped me a lot in Japan, you know, because it's, you know, my father immigrated to the United States when he was 20 in 1981. So he was about 25, you know, and it was similar to my story because I came to Japan when I was 22. So it's, you know, we share a very common bond. And, you know, how do you handle new situations? How do you handle people? How do you handle women? How do you handle attention? You know, so they've both been a positive force in my life.
Love that. Yeah, I think, Rebecca, what do we have next, the quote or the photos of Adey, and then it'll be all Adey? Which one are we doing next? Okay, so Adey, I picked out this quote for you in honor of you. A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out of you. And I know without any hesitation, I've seen that in you with the mentoring that you've done for our families over the years. And like I said, sometimes you don't know the impact that you're making, especially since you're all the way in Japan, but it's very real. And this quote has your fingerprints all over it here at Autism Tree. With that note, before I turn it all the way over to you, we have these amazing pictures of you over the years at Autism Tree. And it's just really means a lot to look back at it. There's you in the far left up top with Wendy Carragher, the coach's wife, Joel, Coach Carragher, Sandy, Jeff Anderson, and you. And that truly is your family right there as well, like we were talking about. And the photo next to it of you under the autism tree that you talked about in the video that Joel created, it really makes me know that we've always got to keep that painting in our archives. no matter where we go in the future, that with your video just it really is the essence and the heartbeat of Autism Tree even today. The photo to the on the top far right, you and I want you to know, Adey, Kyle recently was texting Rebecca and I because we want to have him come on and speak as well this year. And he said, "Oh, Adey's my best friend," and it was so great. And there you are with Joel, all three of you guys brothers. I love the stories of you all going on a cruise with Mama Sandy, and just the stories are endless. That photo of you and Sandy at the bottom corner is so great too. And then, I mean, I just love all these photos, you and Joel over the years. And there's your family, far right? Adey, who's in that picture?
Those are my, can you hear me? Those are my little sister is right next to Joe, immediately next to Joe, between me, Joe and I. And then my older sister is on my right shoulder. And then that's one of her friends. So my two sisters and her friend.
Oh, I love it. Okay, we have one more slide of you over the years too. So fun to look at these photos. I don't know what makes you feel, Adey. I love you. Can you talk about any of these photos? I'd love to hear from your perspective.
We would be here all day if I talked about every single one of those photos.
Just in general, is there anything that pops out for you?
Just the love, the love and the travel and the adventures. They say you learn more about people when you travel with them, so just, traveling. Cruises, Montana, Japan a couple times, speaking engagements in Japan, doing international deals with Joel, selling art. Like, it's been, smiley bags, birthdays, visiting Jared, and it's a lot. And then 5 championships. So it's quite a lot.
Wow. Well, Adey, it's with deep gratitude that I just want you to know we're just happy to have this time with you. And I'm essentially now that was my intro, and thank you for everything that you've done as part of your legacy here at Autism Tree. You'll always be part of our family. And it's so good to see you.
You as well.
All right. You can go ahead, Adey. Share.
I can go ahead?
Share. Yeah.
Is it my turn now? Okay. I'm gonna greet you guys in Japanese first, and then we'll continue this in English. Minasan konnichiwa. Watashi wa Adeyemi desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. It's pretty much saying, like, everyone, good evening. My name is Adey, and let's have a good night, basically. So my name is Adey. I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I went to the University of San Diego from the fall of 2008 to the fall of 2012, to the spring of 2012. Graduated with a degree in politics and in marketing. I played football on the University of San Diego football team from 2008 to 2012. I started 42 out of 44 games. The only 2 games I didn't start, I broke my ribs in practice and I couldn't play. So they literally had to physically remove me from the game. I had a wonderful experience at the university. I met some wonderful people, starting with my roommate, Kyle Negretti. We've built a bond and a friendship that'll last, forever. Kyle and Joe will be groomsmen in my wedding if I ever do find the right woman. Sandy always jokes with me about finding the right woman, so we're still looking. It's in 2000, I believe in 2010, my roommate Kyle had a great idea to partner with the Autism Tree Project Foundation and have a mentorship program between the football team and the foundation. And it was going to be as simple as just having the kids come out, or having the kids come out for a game, for a practice, and engaging with them, and having the social hour with them, and talking to the parents, and making sure that the parents understand that we're here for them. Anytime that they need us, they can always call on us. They can, if the kids are having a hard time, if there's any special events that's going on with them, like, let us know. We'll try to show up there. And it's in the giving back spirit that Kyle decided that, this is the project that he really wanted to focus on. So when Kyle decided to transfer to USC, it was a natural transition between, because we were roommates. So I knew everything that he was doing. I was involved with the program, but I wasn't at the high level. So I knew that this is, he would want someone that he trusted to be able to continue the tradition and to be able to take it forward. Now, the first family that we were paired with, we were kind of paired in bunches, right? So the first family Kyle and I were paired with the Anderson family, and it was kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. Like you get two sons for for the price of one. So the first time meeting, Mama Sandy, Papa Jeff, Joe, and Jared was amazing for us because with a lot of the families, it was like you get one player kind of per family, or you get multiple players per family. But with us, because Kyle and I already lived together, we knew each other very well. And then like going into their household and going into their family was very seamless for us. And we could feed off each other. Some of the things that, Kyle is good at, and I'm not so good at. Some of the things that I'm good at, Kyle is not so good at. So we were able to provide a different perspective when it came to when it came to life, when it came to sport, when it came to family. So that was, I really, really appreciated that. Over the years, obviously, and I want to thank Dana and Rebecca for putting this together. I've known Dana for a while now, and Rebecca I just met this morning. Also, Mr. John Hickey is on this call. I want to throw a quick shout out to him. They say nothing new comes about without a relationship from which that came before. It's an honor for me to be able to track how Mr. Hickey John has taken a program. And he's really built layers and layers on top of what we started. So I'm really proud of his efforts and Dana's continued efforts and obviously now Rebecca leading it. I'm really proud of what you guys have done over the years. And I follow all the fundraising numbers. I do I've been involved in a couple of the fundraising numbers with the around Thanksgiving time, and I have teammates who've donated as well. So I try to be as involved as I can from a few time zones away. So I'm really proud of how you guys have taken that on. Now, over the years, it started as a mentorship program, but it turned into a family. For example, it was how do we so once I graduated, it was how do we move past just hanging out once in a while to now becoming like, hey, like like we talked about, he's our son and he's part of our family, but there's something to talk about it, but then there's something to be about it, right? So it's like, all right, you're gonna go to Montana and meet, Grandma and Grandpa Joe, we're gonna fly to Japan and come watch your games. Joe's got an art show coming up in Tokyo, like, can we stay with you? Like, of course you can stay with me, so like, the four of us or the five of us in a little cubicle in Japan, just kind of like mingling our way like family, they say home is where your family is. And just going to Japan, and I'm going to tell a quick story about, I shared a quick story about picking up girls with Joe and me being a wingman. So we were in Montana, it was a few years ago, and we were at a rodeo, and Joe and Mama Sandy always talks about how Joe loves his blondes, So I'm sorry if I'm embarrassing you, Joe, but I got to tell the story. And we're at the rodeo, and I'm watching the rodeo because this is my first rodeo. I've never seen anything like it. But the horses are going, the cowboys are jumping off horses. It's very, very action packed, So all of a sudden, Mama Sandy's like, "Where's Joe?" And I looked to the side, Joe wasn't there. She was like, "Go find him, please." So I'm like walking, I'm watching the show. I'm looking for Joe, watching the show, looking for Joe. And I come across him, and he's found beautiful young lady. Blonde hair, blue eyes, it's beautiful, absolutely stunning. I'm like, "Joe, great choice." So I go, and I'm like, "Hey, Joe, how you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, this is my friend." So we just kind of like all introduce each other, and we're just like, "Yeah, this is my buddy Joe, this is my buddy Adey." So I kind of like pretend like I'm his wingman in a situation like that. So that was a little interesting story from our times in Montana. And a couple years ago, we also went on a cruise, Kyle and I, and then Joe, Mama Sandy, and Papa Jeff. And it was gonna be, we tried, because the cruise was everyone, but we wanted to make it like a boys cruise. So Mama Sandy and Papa Jeff, they got their own little room by the balcony on the side of the cruise, and then it was Joel and I, it was me, Joel, and Kyle, and we were in a room, and we shared a room for 3.5 days. We got on each other's nerves. We had a lot of laughs. We created videos. We had quick parties in the little rooms, and so we found ways to to enjoy the time that we share together, because we're all doing different things now. But we wanted to make sure that while we're together, that we're able to share that time and that spirit. In terms of what's going on, obviously the world is in a very, very special place now when it comes to, and it's a very trying place when it comes to this virus that we were not very prepared for. I think it's important to focus on our mental health, because that's one of the things that people. That's one of the hardest battles for people so far, because now you have people who weren't used to being in the same place for extended period of times, having to work from home, having to be in a house for a few weeks with their kids, and just the pressure that brings. And living in Japan has a high suicide rate. And one of the things that the Japanese government try to encourage people is that, hey, like, reach out to your families, whether it's Zoom calls, whether it's we're watching a movie on Zoom, whether it's, playing cards on Zoom. So anything that we can to make sure that we're keeping track of our people, to make sure that they're mentally there, to make sure that everything is going well, because a lot of the times you can't see the mental wounds. So I just want to encourage everybody to continue to touch base with their people and making sure that everyone's doing okay. I know that I talk to Mama and Papa Anderson once in a while. I text Mama Anderson probably 2 or 3 times. She texts me a lot as well, and we always joke that I talk to her more than I talk to my own mom. But that's just our relationship. And I try to check in once in a while via video calls and regular phone calls when I do have the time. So I try to make sure that they're doing okay, and they're really a part of my family. My mom was having a 60th birthday. I think it was last September, so 2 Septembers ago. And they drove down I flew in from Japan, and they drove down from San Diego, and they attended it. And it was like their first Nigerian themed birthday. So that was interesting in itself, that they're experiencing different cultures. And when Nigerian parties, people are going to be late. They're going to be loud. There's going to be music. There's going to be food. So it was interesting to see Joe in that atmosphere. And he did absolutely wonderful. And I was glad that he was able, and they were able to experience that. What I'm doing now, we just finished our season. We were able to play a shortened season. Usually we would start in late August, but we started in October. And the Japanese government allowed us to have 25% of capacity at the stadiums. So we were able to play a shortened season. Unfortunately, we didn't win the championship. It's not because of COVID, so I'm not going to use COVID as an excuse. But but we look forward to laying perfect bricks, and hopefully the championship house will build itself come next season. And then now, usually I would be home mid-January. So at this time I should be actually talking to you guys from Los Angeles, California right now. But because of COVID, and my mom works in healthcare and she's on the front line. I was just telling Dana that she took the vaccine yesterday. She took one of 2 vaccines yesterday because she works on the front line and she does have asthma. So for her, she has those double risks. And I don't want to expose her by traveling through airports, and I want to expose her to anything of that nature. So we're just being super, super careful. We're waiting. We're seeing how she reacts to the vaccine. And if everything is good, God willing, I hope to be in America, maybe end of January, maybe February. So we're just kind of playing it by the ear and seeing what works. Everyone's just, I know I haven't seen them in about a year now, but we get on FaceTime and we see each other, and I keep my hat on because I haven't cut my hair. And that's the number one thing that my mom is going to comment. She's like, why haven't you cut your hair? Why do you look like a bum? So I make sure to keep my hat on all the video calls with mom. And then my sister, I just take it off because she's my sister. So yeah, it's certainly the new normal, but this isn't, this too shall pass. And I think we're going to be better for it. I think one of the things, obviously, you see the political nature of what's going on in the U.S. But the U.S. is a fairly new country, 300 plus years. But you've had civilizations that have lasted longer than 300 years. You've had dynasties that have had goldfishes longer than 300 years. So these are just the growing pain of a relatively new country, and I think we'll be better for it. Because the one thing that the U.S. does do is is that we try to address our problems. Now, recently it's been that we've been talking at each other instead of talking to each other, but I hope we can turn the page and we can come together and start addressing some of the problems that we have, and we can move forward, with it and continue these American greatness. Right now, because I'm not able to travel, I actually started a master's degree last week. So I'm working on getting my master's, and the Japan thing is not going to last forever. So I call it the 2 to 4 year transition plan back to the United States. Unless an equally great opportunity comes up in Japan, then we'll extend in that time frame. So me getting my master's right now is part of that exit strategy. And I have a couple other things in the works that that hopefully will help me have a smoother transition. Because it's hard to be 34, 35 and just starting in corporate America. So I have to put some of the stones in place and making sure that I'm set. And that should be around the time that obviously I'd love to get married, start having a family. And I'm super grateful for the position that I've been in Japan. I've been among some really, really, really great people, and Mama Sandy and Papa Jeff and Joe can attest to that. Is that when they come and visit me here, the people that they meet, our managers, our players, our structure, everyone's very everyone's very kind, and everyone's warm and welcoming. So I'm glad that they've been able to experience Japan and with me as well, and kind of see my growth from moving from the States to Japan as well. They've visited Japan plenty of times. Actually a couple like 3 years ago, Papa Jeff and then my dad, they came to watch a championship game, and it was one night we were walking. It was like the night before the game, and we were walking to like a all-you-can-eat barbecue place. And we're walking in, it's absolutely freezing outside, so like we scurry and we get in there and we're eating. And I'm like, well, you guys better eat enough for the road so that he can have some warmth on this walk back. And I can just remember how like it was like the three men just having a good bonding experience while freezing their tushes off, So yeah, that's I'll leave it there for now. And then I want to interact with everyone a little more instead of me just going on and on about me and my experiences. So
I love it. Well, thank you so much. You have such a beautiful story, and I just am so intrigued by your perspective that you bring from being Nigerian and living in Japan and America. Like, that's incredible. I love that you said we're that we're talking, America is like talking at each other instead of talking with each other, but we do have hope that eventually we'll get to that point. But yeah, it's just and it's great that you're getting an education as well, a master's. Congratulations on that. Working on that, it's a lot. What are you planning for your kind of your career? Are you planning to come once you're done with your master's? What are you getting it in? And then once you're done, do you plan to come back to the US, and what do you want to do?
I think ideally, as my parents age and as my nieces and nephews grow older, I would love to share some of to catch up and share some of that time that I've missed being away from home. And I'm getting my master's in business management and leadership. And a couple of years ago, my cousin and I started a contemporary clothing brand in London. So I always joke with him that I'm going to come and like help run the company, like there rather than just being from afar. But everything is on the table. Like you said, I've lived on 3 continents and basically in 3 years. So I spent 10 years in Nigeria while my parents were in the States because they wanted me to grow up with familiar values. And then when I was 10, they decided that it was best for me to come to the States and catch up on the education system. And then I spent the next 12 in America, and I've been in Japan for almost 8 now. So I have a global perspective when it comes to life, when it comes to family, when it comes to how things are done, when it comes to both the individualistic culture of America and the collectivism culture of Japan and Nigeria. And the one thing, actually going back to why people call me so many different names, it goes back to culture. So when you're in Nigeria, people call you by your family name. And in Japan, people call you by your family name. But in America, people call you by your first name. So that's why it's so much easier for me to go between the aliases, because in Nigeria, they will call me Mr. Adeyemi. Oh, Adeyemi, Adeyemi, Adeyemi. And then in Japan, same thing. So I just have people call me Adey. And then in the States, obviously, professors will call me like, Al Rilwan. And then close friends will call me Rilwan, and other friends will call me Adey. So like, I just kind of, in America, I let people choose what they'd like to call me, and I respond to all three of them. So in terms of what the future holds in terms of career plans, I don't know. It's I have a few things in the works, but God willing, I have 2 to 4 years to kind of figure that out as the football career wanes. And the one thing that I've tried to do every single year is to figure out my passion. What is my passion? What am I passionate for? Is it helping people? If it's helping people, how do I get a career in helping people? Will I make enough money to support a family helping people? So those are the things that, as a man, those are the things that you have to kind of think of. Is that, yeah, it's great to have, it's great to have a passion and a job that, that you're doing well in, but we got to raise a family possibly in California, and that's not cheap. So those are the things that I keep in mind. And you just got to save your money too. Save your money so that way you have a little momentum when you come back to the States. So that's so everything's in the works now. There's a question.
You're quite the global citizen. Thank you for explaining the names. I didn't even think about that.
Rebecca, John Hickey has a question for Adey. Let him just ask it.
Okay.
John, you could say hi to Adey too.
Yeah.
Good morning, Adey-san. How are you?
John-san, good morning. Good evening.
Well, it's 10 o'clock for you?
Yeah, 10:12 in the morning, Thursday morning.
So I got to read my question that I just sent in. So we're getting ready to launch, hopefully, another mentor program at University of Utah.
Okay.
A player transferred from USD up to Utah and reached out to me, and he's like, "Hey, I would love to do this."
Yeah.
So as a player, one of the ones who helped start this program, did you guys have any reservations about doing it, or what advice would you give us for starting a program like this for the first time at a big university?
So you have, and thank you for the question, John. You have a challenge that we never faced, in that you have a pandemic that's going on. So starting a program in the pandemic is going to be, you're going to have some of the challenges of having to do it virtually, perhaps at first. But the one thing you want to do is you want to have people who are passionate about the program. So what you want to do is you have a player that's willing to help you run it. But you also want that player, because he's a transfer player, right? So you want that player to go to the team and get a couple leaders on the team and talk to them about it first, and then present that idea to the head coach or the management of the team, and then that group as a whole can present it to the whole team, and see how they want to receive. Usually, coaches are very on board for programs like that, but you never know, what a coach's priorities are. Whether sometimes coaches is like, no, that's a distraction, or sometimes coaches are like, no, we'd love to be a part about that. And you can start it out by having it be optional. So you can have you can say, hey, players who feel like they want to be a part of this program, because on a football team you have 80 plus guys, so you have enough numbers to be able to start it. So all you need is a few, but if you can have 20, 30, half of the 50% of the team, you can make the program really take off. So having following that kind of path and having the coach present it to the team is optional. And then just doing activities, and before you know it, word of mouth will start to build a brand, and before you know, you'll have 100% participation. In a similar way that we started, that's how we started at USD. It wasn't always 100% participation, but in the second or third year, it became that, because everyone wanted to be a part of it. So,
yeah, it took us 10 years to get 100% participation.
Yeah,
at USD. So we had usually enough players. We didn't have enough families.
Yeah.
And then we started getting enough. And then the fun thing we've done too is having the seniors pair up a freshman with their buddy. So then we have the senior mentoring the freshman and both of them mentoring the kid. And then when the senior graduates, we already have a built-in mentor to carry on the family part of it. The kid up in Utah, he's already gone through, he's talked to the coach. He got recognized as the University of Utah Student Athlete Service Award.
Wow.
after only being there for 3 months.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And Dana hooked me up with a doctor who is on staff at University of Utah. He hooked us up with two autism resource groups in the state of Utah. So we've got the stuff in place. And yeah, COVID's the big hurdle. But we're looking at when we can do it. He's excited. I'm going to get Coach Carragher to talk to Coach Whittingham from the coach's standpoint, and let him know of the challenges and stuff.
That's perfect.
So yeah. And then the second part of my question was, do you prefer man or zone?
Do I prefer man or zone? Well, I can play both, but I prefer, it depends on, to be honest, it depends on, we're talking about defensive coverages. It depends on what the team needs. So it's certain games, it's better to play man defense and then just have the ability to pressure the quarterback and to make him throw the ball in a hurry. But certain games you prefer zone defenses because they have, they have a couple talent and you don't want to expose the other parts of your team to some vulnerabilities. So
it's a game. Throw a little football in there for you and me.
It's a game to game thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are at time, but I think we could take one or two more questions from anybody if everybody doesn't mind staying in for a bit. I'd love, for anybody else, if you want to ask a question, you can type it in the chat and I can read it, or you can.
I love to see someone else talk with Adey that has the opportunities all the way here from Japan. It's so awesome. Where's Sandy? Sandy, you want to talk to Adey or Karen? Anybody really?
I'll just say hi, but I get to talk to him whenever. So I'm wearing my Fujitsu number 40 shirt. Yay. We are big fans and we watch their games. So next season when he plays, you all can log on at 2 a.m. with me and cheer Adey on. We have all our Fujitsu fans and everything that we, all our mementos from football games. And we just have a blast watching Adey and cheering him on and letting him know he has a fan base here. So we love him.
Go Adey. Yeah, go Ma.
Love it. Yeah, it definitely warms my heart seeing all the pictures. Thank you, Sandy, for sending all those amazing pictures of Adey and you and Kyle and Jeff and just I love the picture of Kyle and Adey and you and Sandy and Jeff. Just doing family portrait styles. It really shows you are just so close, and I want that for every one of our families, and
she asked me for 10 or 12 pictures and I said, I have about 1,000. How am I going to pick?
She sent me 50 and I was able to narrow it down a little bit, but I wanted to use all of them. They were beautiful.
Well, there's a lot of things we love about Autism Tree and so many gifts Autism Tree has given us. And Adey is one of the most special gifts that we have received because of Autism Tree. And I do love him as my own. And he's just so good to Jared and always comes to see him when he's home. And Jared absolutely adores him. He has a big picture on the wall that Joel created of Adey that's on his wall. And Joel just adores him. And we do, his whole family, like I said, is our family. It's not just Adey, it's the whole family. And you are a gift and we love you. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Sandy. Thank you. Were you going to say something else? No? All right. So I wanted to give a shout out to, thank you, John, for all the work you do for our, USD Player Mentor Program. John was able to pivot our program to be virtual. So we are continuing it during this time. And now our PLNU Soccer Player Mentor Program is happening because we had the great example of the USD program. So shout out to all of our football player mentors who are still staying in contact with all of our kids and families during this time. And you guys are just a shining example of that, Sandy and Adey and, the Anderson family. And so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Adey, especially for your time. All the way from Japan. It blows my mind. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to our community. We're so grateful for you and so happy that you're a part of our family.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I'd love
Thanks for everyone for coming on too. I know this isn't our normal time, and I'm really grateful for everyone that took time out to come and connect with Adey tonight.
Mhm. And I'd love to take a group picture of everyone before we go. So I will take a screenshot. I'm going to try to go full screen and get everybody. So if you'd like to turn on your cameras, we'd love to see your smiling faces. All right. Everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Love it. It makes a little sound when I take it now. Thanks, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Adey. Have a beautiful rest of your week. We'll hope to see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you.